Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Or good morning, whenever you are listening to me. Uh, this video is just to showcase how well we can review environmental impact assessment reports using AI under a concept called prompt engineering. So, prompt engineering is a way of generating codes, or let's say prompt or conversation or commands. It's a way of generating commands based on what you are looking out for in a particular document. So you design a series of prompts so that you can be able to generate a desired outcome. So we're going to be using AI Gemini for this particular instructional video. I've been using ChatGPT for a while, but of recent I tried Gemini, and I think it's a bit better, and it can give us more outcome from what we are trying to look out for, and it's a bit more flexible. If I'm to use ChatGPT, I may need to get the full subscription before I can continue to query a particular report for a while. So the concept is just very simple. It can work for EIA report, ESMP, PIA, audit, any kind of report. What you just need is just to develop your own prompt. So I have developed series of prompts for EIA reports for different sectors, for manufacturing, for for BTS, for oil and gas, and for any sector that is available. So this video specifically is just going to be for how we can generate prompt for a EIA report. So let me share my, this is the prompt. This is my collection of several prompts based on what I'm looking out for. I started with the EIA report writing format in the gazetted report. I typed it out. This is what is in our own gazetted gazetted EIA report writing format. Cover page should include the local government area, the state where it's located, include started a report, either draft or final, include name of the component. So this is what I am looking out for each of the chapters. This is what I'm looking for a cover page. Under list of abbreviation, you should screen the list of abbreviation and acronyms used in the report, flag listed acronyms and abbreviation that were listed but was not used, suggest acronyms and abbreviation used in the report but was not on the list. Pagination should follow one numeral. So these, like exec summary, should not contain table, should not contain map, should use with simplified languages. Introduction should begin with introductory section and background information. So these are few information and we are looking out for based on how well we review our report. You can see that for justification for chapter 3. So we can design these for several projects based on what we are looking for, and we can perfect it as we move on. You can remember that you didn't ask some things, you perfect it, or you can even ask the AI to perfect it for you. So it's something that can be done. So for today, I'll try not to save a lot of time. The report I'm going to be working on is this particular ESI report. This ESI report for the proposed Lagos State waste management improvement projects in Lagos State. Lagos State waste management improvement projects in Lagos State. Okay, by Zoom Lion. So this is the draft report I'm going to be using for test today. It's a 410 pages report. Imagine if this report was sent to me and my boss asked me, okay, bring your comment on this. And imagine spending, maybe I'm not in a good mood. I'm fasting, or like my brothers will be in Ramadan very soon. I am not just in a mood. No, it's not every time that you're in a mood to be putting your head into the document and be bringing up a comment. So, but I know what I'm looking out for. If I am in my in my zone, if I'm in my zen, if I'm in my good state of mind, I know that I can bring up comment in these areas, but I might not be I might not be in a good mood in that period. So what I can do is that, okay, I can teach AI to understand all what I'm looking out for, to understand all what the regulator is looking out for based on our guideline. I can even pick comment from Dr. Amiu, Prof, and also see the way she does her own comment and ask AI to also learn that particular trick. Add it then, and that's okay. Based on all what you have known for a while, I've been teaching you how to review for a while. Now review this document for me. So just take it as if you are teaching a child some tricks. And you know, when you teach the child some tricks in a time that you are tired or when you are old, the child will be able to take your footsteps and also perfect whatever you have handed over to him. So we're going to be using this review criteria to review this particular report. So I will just go to the okay. This is it. So to look for AI Gemini, you can just search under your Google your text. You can say I have searched it before AI Gemini. So just search AI Gemini. Look at it. This is got the spelling. Gemini, Gemini, or Gemini. No, no. Depending on how well you want to look at it. You can see this is it here. Use.ai. It's powered by Microsoft. It's just you can okay. This is it's the direct link to it. Gemini.google. So this is Microsoft enabled software. So we just click on it. I may have clicked on the wrong promotional chat, but let me see this. Okay, let me go back to the chat. So this is what I'm looking out for, please. Whenever you are searching, make sure you search for the right code. It's gemini.google.com. So let's click on Google Gemini. So this is what it brings to you. Make sure you sign in. If I've not signed in to show a part sign in, make sure you sign in so that whatever you work on will come up as yeah, exactly. Whatever you work on will come up as your chat. You can see chat here. Apology for wanted noise. Look at chat here. So this is the last review I was doing because this last review I was doing. So it's good for you to continue. So make sure you log in so that you can be able to save all your chat will be saved automatically. So you don't need to save any other chat. So I just click on this. So I click on this, my chat, so as to see my, okay, you can see these are what I've been doing for a while now. Yeah, let me go back to the beginning. It's actually the same report. I've done this video before now, just that I'm not satisfied with the outcome, so I'm doing another one today again. But if you check my channel, you see the previous one I did when I was having these things out. So let me go back to the beginning. Yeah. So for those that are just looking at it for now, so if you have this page now, look at this plus sign. You click on the plus sign and you click on upload files. So now when you click on upload files, you search for where the file is. Wherever the file is, you select it and it gets uploaded. Once it's uploaded on this particular area, you go back to the what do you call it? The review criteria. Sorry. The review criteria. Trying to look for the review criteria so that you can see from there. I will copy it. Yeah, review criteria. So from the review criteria here, I'll copy my desired criteria. For what I did there, I use one of the review criteria that I have worked on. Okay, not this one. This is for BTS. You can see AIA for BTS. I developed this when I was reviewing this ATC project. So, yeah, this is what I did. Review the attached EIA report as an environmental regulator. Use the criteria below to provide chapter by chapter analysis. So I copy to the end. Yeah, to the end. So once I copy it, I can now bring it back to my AI Gemini. That is Google Gemini. So back to the Gemini. So look at this particular area now. When I remember that once the document is uploaded, I can now paste under it. So once you upload, let me for example, you can use PDF, you can use a Word document, but it's better if they are all tied into one. Okay, let's say for example, this document here uploaded. So you can upload Word document, you can upload PDF, but it's good for it to be one single file. But you can put several files together, but I feel it's better if you have just one file per upload. So this is it uploaded. Then look at the space under this cursor. I can Control V, paste my prompt. So I paste my prompt, then I press on this submit. So once you press on submit, click on submit, then you can be able to see this. Once you click on submit, that is when you now see this particular response. Let me cover this so that you can be able to see it. Yeah. So now, based on the review of the draft 3 of Zoom Lion ESIA report for the Lagos State Waste Management, the following is an assessment of the report compliance with your specific criteria and identified gaps. So this is the outcome of the review. Cover page, it says the local government and state. The cover page identified the state as Lagos State, but does not explicitly list the specific local government areas where the project sites are located. Note, local government areas are Ekpe, Alimosho, and Mushin are mentioned. So in the report, they mentioned Ekpe, Alimosho, and Mushin as the local government area that the project is located, but it was not captured in the cover page. So this is a comment I can extract and copy and place on the cover page. I've done that already. I'll show you my comments later. List of abbreviations and acronyms. So it has verified. So say acronyms like ESIA, LGA, FME, whatever are correctly used. This is the gaps. There are some like this CAPI, computerized assisted personal interviewing. It was used in chapter 4. You can see it has gone through the chapter 4 to bring up that. But if I'm not satisfied, I can still run additional search and say search through the entire report and list acronyms. This want to embarrass me. Acronyms used in the report that was not captured in the list of acronyms and those captured in the list of acronyms but not used the entire report. So these are now where I can still add another layer to give me more of this. So let me send it. You can see this report was uploaded like 2 days ago, but I can still query it even after words. You can see it's based on the review of Zoom Lion Tree. These are acronyms used in the report but omitted. You can see there are more than what was analyzed at the first place. So this is another way for you to now get in more information by asking them questions that you feel you need answers to. CAPI was used, CEMS was used, FSTP. So these are acronyms used in the report but omitted in the formal list. So these are what you can add. These are comments you can add. The acronym that was captured but was not used in the report. So these DPR, IH, STP, they were listed, but they are not anywhere in the body of the report. Inconsistency and recommendation. Inconsistency usage. The term waste to resource is being used as a philosophy in chapter 2, but not abbreviated as waste W2R in the list. Okay, that's another drafting error. The acknowledgement section page mistakenly referenced power distribution infrastructure for Nigeria breweries. You can imagine this now. This is a very, very bad one. And instead of Zoom Lion Waste Project, indicating that some acronyms from previous report template may still be remain in list. So you can see it was very, very smart to identify that this person have used a template of Nigeria breweries in writing this report. So this is a good one. Recommendation: the list of acronyms should be updated to include technical terms like MRF, TLS, GHGs, which are fundamental. So this is very, very awesome. I'm sure you enjoy that. I think you can put that into the comment. Let us go further to other comments. I've done a lot of analysis on this report where I've seen this, so we'll discuss the analysis together. Yeah, so back to example summary. Tips and maps. The summary, starting from page XVI, appears to be text heavy and aligns with the requirement to avoid complex table. All right, it's good. The summary is accessible. Pagination is there. So at a point in time, I was asking that, okay, this comment in exec summary, I'm not satisfied with it. It's just a summary and it's not that rich. So I now asked more questions. This is what I asked them. Review the executive summary and identify key information within the main body of the report that was not captured within the executive summary section. Yeah. Now, it thought for a while. Now, it brought up some areas that were not captured. Introduction and legal framework, chapter 1, specific legal status. The executive summary mentions compliance with national and international laws, but omits the exhaustive list as specified Nigeria Act, Lagos State regulations such as National Environmental Regulation SI 28 and Lagos State Waste Management and Protection Law. So this is just trying to say that some laws were not captured. Some laws were not captured. However, you might look at it and check if you are interested in adding them or not. So these are other gaps under introduction and legal framework. The IFC standard, it said this ES does not mention compliance to IFC standard. Project categorization, the project identified category A under FME Act, and this was not highlighted in the summary to show that the project is a category 1 project. Also, it also noted at so in chapter 3 that the technical specifications were not taken into consideration. The main body provides specific equipment lists, conveyor belts, and Okay, let me save the data so that I might not affect the quality of the report. So for the technical specification, he said these are some areas. He said the main body provide specific equipment list. This was missing from the exec summary. This technical equipment and equipment that is necessary for the project. Process flow diagram, although might not need to have schematics in the executive summary, but just said that there are some areas that were not properly discussed in the executive summary. With characterization was not no highlights. So what we just need now, when you're reporting this, can just ask the proponent to present highlights of the waste categorization, highlight of the technical specification, highlight of process flow, description should be part of what they should also look out for when preparing this report. Also in chapter 4, there are some information in chapter 4 that needed to be in the exam summary, such as the summary of the data. Said most times they said they are within regulatory limits. There is no specific limit that is being referred to. And under the stakeholders concerned, said that some bodies such as ASO Scrap and the name host community were not clearly identified. So these are areas you can also say highlight, include succinct information on and this area. So under impact assessment is also make meaning of the quantified GHG emission. They said there's need to have highlight of this information also, and also maybe the ESMP, the organizational structure, highlights of specialized subplans, like can list them like grievance redress mechanism, traffic management plan, risk and accident management. These they are not fully detailed in the summary. So you might not need details in the summary, but you also need the highlights. So don't take it like that and put details. Now, um, going forward, I am satisfied with chapter 1, then the exact summary. Now, for chapter 1, I asked that you should evaluate the legal and administrative framework in chapter 1 and compare with national and international legal and administrative framework to identify gaps and areas of improvement. Note that there is a generalized information for chapter 1 here, but I feel I need more information. That is why I'm going for chapter by chapter. Because chapter 1 is the comment he brought here is about just telling us that the background information includes the detailed background, legal framework, the limit. It was not detailed, it was just on the surface. But like chapter 2 on the surface, chapter 3 is comment from chapter 3 on the surface, 4, same thing on the surface. It just giving us summary of what is there. 5, 6, 7, same thing for 7. So I prefer to now query each chapter by chapter based on what I'm looking out for. Then when I get the information I'm looking for, I copy them out and I document them entirely. So for chapter 1, now, based on this prompt, I put there that should evaluate the legal and administrative framework in chapter 1, compared with the national, international, and international legal framework. And by gaps, I want to know how the areas in which that legal framework is not doing well, areas in which it can be improved on, because the idea is not about fishing out errors. The idea is about improving on the report. The idea is about identifying those gaps and ensuring that those gaps are filled by the consultant or the proponent. So now, the report established a multi-tiered legal framework characterized to 3 levels. This is evaluation of what is there, telling about the legal framework of the national, the state, and international. Now, comparison and identification of the gaps. In terms of climate change, it said the report mentioned that the Nigerian Climate Change Act of 2021 and a Lagos Climate Action Plan. Wow, that is nice to know that Lagos have a climate action plan. And internationally, it talked about the IFC, World Bank, Scope 1 and 2 GHG gas contribution, and specific reduction targets. The gap is that while the GHG estimation is mentioned in the body of the chapter 1, the framework does not explicitly detail the net zero alignment strategies required by newer international financing standards. So these are the gaps in that particular regulations. We might not need to bother ourselves with this, but if you can couch it very well to see how well this net zero alignment can come in as a comment, I think it will be a good one also. Under social safeguards, there is a need to the gap is on the framework lacks a detailed labor management procedure in chapter 1 that explicitly addresses the prevention of child and forced labor as mandated by IFC Performance Standard 2. So these are areas that the gaps are GRM and vulnerable groups. So same for health and safety OHS. So these are areas that we need to look out for in those. So areas of improvement as integrated monitoring. I think this might just be management wise for implementing, might be more good for, though in the ESMP, there is plan for integrated monitoring. Quantitative modeling, I think this air distribution modeling must have been part of the TOR, but if it's not there, we might not be able to add it at this point in time. Specific gender policies, gender action plan, these are something that we can look out for. So I was not okay with those information. They were still light for me, so I still went further to suggest more applicable national and international framework applicable to these projects. Let me be direct. Just give me the applicable national and international framework, so I can just add it and say, on this chapter, include this national and international framework which are applicable. So that's where I can see the National Environmental Regulation SI 28 on sanitation and waste control, the battery control, national policy on plastic waste management. This is very, very important for the project as such. Lagos State Environmental Management and Protection Law. Wow, this is very, very important. And then the Nigeria Gas Flare Commercialization Program. Say it is relevant if the project involves methane recovery. I don't think the project the links to whatever, it doesn't have any link to methane recovery, so might drop that. Then for international, the Basel Convention of Control of Boundary Movement of Hazardous Waste, very important. The Stockholm Convention of Persistent Organic Pollutants, very important. Paris Agreement and Kyoto Protocol, very important. ILO Declaration of Orlando, so these are areas you can just add and say, update this report with the following legal and administrative framework to enhance the quality of the report. So it's very, very important to have this. So for strategic areas of improvement, this might not be for the report, but might just be for strategic internal use from the department. Circular economic integration, gender action plan. This might be necessary for building conditions for approval. I think IMM unit might be interested in this. So that was that about chapter 1. I was able to get this, and I think with these 2 comments or those 2 areas, my chapter 1 will be okay. So moving forward, I said, okay, let me evaluate the needs and benefits of the project. That is chapter 2 now, which talked about project justification. I said, evaluate the needs and benefits of the project as provided in chapter 2 and identify gaps and suggest areas of improvement to enhance the section. Kindly include reference to page and sections. It's important to add this line, kindly include reference to page and section, so that you can be able to know the page in which any of those comments are from. So after thinking, you brought up this, you can see the page and section. Now it's evaluating the need of the project. Afternoon. The project justifies the project by highlighting and escalating waste management crisis in Lagos. So it's trying to tell us what they actually did here. And they said that the population that generates approximately 13,000 tons per day of solid waste, so it's projected to rise to 15,000 tons per day within 5 years. So these are what was there. These are the key drivers, the environmental health concerns. Evaluation of the project benefits. These are the evaluation, but now let us look at the gaps. Now, the gaps area is that the section provide broad qualitative benefit but lacks specific measurement targets. Example, percentage reduction in open dumping. Maybe that information can be gotten from the National Bureau of Statistics, NBS, so we can ask them to include quantitative targets so that we can be able to justify the needs of the project quantitatively. So these we need them to get it from the National Bureau of Statistics. Now, for circular economy, say why recycling is mentioned. The transition towards circular economy is not explicitly detailed. So this is under policy leave area. So there is need to couch the need of the project to align with the circular economy mantra of the Ministry of Environment and the Federal Government of Nigeria. So also social justification benefit on the vulnerable people, especially the protection of informal waste sorters and scavengers. So there's need to also bring it up to ensure social justification. And so these are recommendations. The project value says to expand it to include cost benefit analysis. This will contract the no project option. So this is a high level comment, but I do try to make it easy for whoever is addressing the comment to give them comment that are actionable, things that they can be able to address, especially trying to put myself in their own feet. So cost benefit analysis might be something that might be done by a professional and maybe other is subject matter expert on that area. So you might not need to put there. But I also wasn't too okay. I still needed more information. So I said read through the section on environmental, social, and technical sustainability, which are the two, and suggest areas of improvement to enhance discussion in this section in line with global best practices. So I want to know areas in which the project can be better off in terms of environmentally, socially, and technically when it comes to sustainability. And I know that once we open up the conversation to a global best practice, the options will be endless. So let's see what is there. For you can see it's always referencing where the information is from. All what he's saying is not from the internet. They are from this particular draft report that I've uploaded. They are from this particular draft report I've uploaded. So if I want to review on that report, I may open another chat for a new so that I can continue on that particular report for a long while. Because this report has been uploaded like 2 days ago, but still I still come back and still ask questions on this report, and I don't need to re-upload it again. When it comes to ChatGPT, you might have challenges coming back to tell you that time is up, upgrade to Pro. But before Gemini take us back to Pro, I think we can make use of what we can use from here. So now, areas of improvement, net zero alignment. Explicitly link the project greenhouse gas mitigation strategy to Nigeria's nationally determined contributions and global goal of achieving net zero by 2050. So there's need to align the environmental sustainability concept with net zero, which is part of Nigeria's strategy. So this project is a very good project because it's going to help us align and get to that level. So these are what should be part of the discussions. Circular economy framework also, we are transiting the discussion from mere waste reduction to circular economy. So these are things that should also be there. Ecosystem services. For social sustainability, areas of improvement involves formalization of the informal sector. Now, there has been more concern about informal waste picking sector. The section should detail a strategy for integrating existing scavengers at Solos 3 and Olusosun into the formal project value chain to prevent loss of livelihood. So this is an area of improvement. Human rights and labor standard. There's need to also improve on this to enhance the social sustainability. Gender transformation, gender action plan. These are also social areas that can help. You didn't add it there, but I will add grievance redress mechanism. It's another area that can enhance social. Me, I mean, also an area on my own too. Now, number 3, you have technical sustainability, areas of improvement, technology transfer and localization. Now, this is a very, very important area that can even be mainstreamed into other projects. Example, he said wastewater treatment and biogas system. This should include a commitment to train local engineers to reduce dependency on foreign technical experts. This is a way to improve on the technical sustainability of the project. So digital integration, smart waste management technologies, such as GPS tracked collection fleets. This is another area which is very important when you talk about mainstreaming digital technology into it. Dorothy Okim is here. We know much about this. She won an award on that. Climate adaptation enhanced the discussion on how technical infrastructure is providing foolproof against climate risk specific to Lagos, such as increasing flood and sea level rise that affect facilities like the transfer loading stations. So this is another area of improvement. When you talk about economic sustainability, the financial resilience, the market development, integrating this global best practice, the report will move from a compliance-focused document to a strategic roadmap for sustainable urban development. So now we are adding value to the project development. So it's not just a compliance-focused document that you just tick the box for compliance business, but EIA is shifting to a strategic document to ensure sustainable development. So moving to chapter 3, I said as a representative regulator, review chapter 3 of this body to identify gaps and areas of improvement as compared with global best practice for an EIA report, as well as criteria below include reference to page and sections. I don't know why I did this. Okay, the criteria are there. I was wondering why the criteria. Look at the criteria. So I picked this from my criteria. For the one for chapter 3, I also chapter 3 and dump. So you can have criteria for each chapters and be dropping them chapter by chapter instead of writing the whole prompt from chapter 1 to chapter 9. Can be doing them chapter by chapter so they can be having more better results. So these are the findings. The report defines this. The gap is the description lacks high-level philosophical assessment that explicitly links the project to circular economy. Now, and that gap is in the capacity, the throughput in tons per hour for MRF scooters and for meter cube per day for treatment plants. So there is no specific mention of the capacities of the major components of the project. And it's also said that there is a gap in terms of the piping and instrumentation diagram. There is need to add this diagram, which is standard for liquid waste treatment facility, just to help to know where the sludge goes to, where the wastewater treatment plant goes to, and how this moves. This is where it comes. This is where you can understand this area, the piping and instrumentation diagram. So for the facilities and waste stream, describe the wastewater treatment process and general waste handling. There is no mass balance table. So these are areas of improvement with respect to chapter 3 under the facilities and waste streams. Raw materials and utilities, specific chemical requirement for wastewater, fecal, sludge, like coagulant, disinfectant are missing. Utility consumption rates, this electricity per day, water per day are qualitative rather than quantitative. So there is no specific quantity of electricity that is being used per day or water by used by day. So these are gaps that you can put in as comment. Just look at the section 3.7.1 under construction material, then can now ask for specific chemical requirements for wastewater fecal treatment, because we need to know how well they are going to preserve or save or store this coagulant and this disinfectant, and how they are going to manage the spent materials. Other HSC, they say there is no specific critical control point. For example, safety locks, GHG. The gaps is that it lacks GHG intensity target. And it mentions scope 1, scope 2, which is the purchase electricity, and scope 3 are not fully accounted for. Wow. So this is a way of, you can even ask more questions about what does it mean by this scope 1, scope 2, and it's in the report already. And we might not know, but it's good to have this there. You can query it and ask for more information on what it implies or what it means to have something like this. The missing data point, uh, these are areas that are missing. The capacity is just like a summary of all what we have been talking about. So even suggested that to meet global best practice, the following tables should be integrated into chapter 3. Table A, facility design, capacity and throughput. Table B, utility and chemical requirements. Table C, HSE critical control. So these are even suggestions that you can help to enhance the report. So I was still looking out for more information and I added this prompt. Evaluate chapter 3 on the project description and verify the project components are consistent across the section of the report. Identify relevant components that are not described but necessary for project implementation, including reference to pages. So these are areas I feel that based on the review of the chapter 3, I have verified the consistency of project component around the project report. Okay, these are some of the core infrastructure. The primary component, transfer loading stations, material recovery facility, residual landfill, treatment facility are consistently referenced. So it's very good. That means they are consistent across the report. The report consistently identified 8 locations in Lagos State, including Solus 3 and Olusosun. Operational phase, the 4 phases remain uniform. Okay, let's go to the gaps. While the report described a main waste processing plant, it lacks detailed description of several auxiliary but vital components. So sometimes some auxiliary components may not be well discussed, and they may be swept under the carpet. And you might not know because you're not a subject matter expert in this area. You might, based on what we review, might be experts in different fields, but not a particular one. So for this, leachate collection and treatment is a physical infrastructure. This was not discussed. Laboratory and monitoring facility. The report emphasized environmental monitoring, but not described if there will be an on-site laboratory. Buffer zone. According to global best practice in performance standard 3, they say there is a requirement for buffer zone, and fire suppression systems, internal communication infrastructures, like systems that are necessary. So these are summary of those areas of improvement that are needed. So now going to chapter 4, baseline. So I started with the methodology. Methodology is the first line of point of call when it comes to baseline information. So let us check if the methodology is correct and if there are areas which you can improve on the methodology of this sampling. So that is why I brought up this prompt. So the report employs a multidisciplinary approach for baseline data acquisition, which includes the desktop research, review of previous study maps and methodological data. These are, in fact, they said 2-season data was conducted, air quality in situ, and these are the parameters was analyzed. Economics was used using computer-assisted personal interview for household survey, focus group discussion, and key informant interview. Now, these are where the gap is. He said 24 hours continuous monitoring is important, although that could have been part of the TOR. But since we don't have that in the TOR, asking them to go back to the field for 24 hours monitoring might be too much. But This will be for our only way of learning. Conduct hydrogeological modeling. Very important because of leachate, the plume migration of potential leachate leaks from residual. But since we cannot ask them to go back to conduct this hydrogeological modeling, we can ask if they have taken into cognizance the plume migration of potential leachate from leaks from residual landfill. Socioeconomic baseline also suggests that there could have been a livelihood restoration plan, specifically for informal sectors participants at Olu, Sosun, and Solus to comply with IFC PS5. The tables and the pages are there. For biodiversity, they say you can use a GIS-based habitat mapping. This will help to identify critical habitat screening, which is required by IFC Performance 6. Include a climate projection modeling. So these are areas that if this report needs to comply with IFC standards, they need to address. The modeling, HIA, health impact assessment, based on the fact that there is a whole lot of order and the rest of them, a laboratory accreditation. Now, I'm taking those parameters one after the other now. Air quality, noise, air quality, water quality, soil quality. So I just use this summary to just, okay, give me analysis of the air quality, if it aligns and areas that of improvement, how it can be enhanced. This was just out of my mind. It can be better than this. You can copy the prompts. You can even review the prompts and so I can give you other answers. So based on it, these are the evaluation of the air quality in chapter 4, section 4.2, 4.3. So other air quality, I'll just add all this as a comment on it. The gap is, we said we should use continuous 24 hours monitoring as sensing receptacle to account for the diurnal fluctuation and local meteorological shifts. This is very important, but was not done. There are some important parameters for waste processing, such as the volatile organic compound, VOCs, hydrogen sulfide, H2S, and methane. So they were mentioned in impact section, but lack comprehensive baseline quantification in chapter 4. So I'm not sure if these were analyzed, but they are very, very important to be able to prepare the baseline condition of the land or the area. So these are areas and recommendations. Enhanced interpretation of reference reports. So this is most of the most monitor parameters were within FME limits, but there's need to bring up inference. Like now, the inference should be made on how the high relative humidity in Lagos affect the deposition of particulate matter and the persistence of odor in the vicinity. The report says that there is a high relative humidity. So now there is need to provide inference of how this applies or affects particulate matter and odor. Also, cumulative impact and other areas. You can see compliance to global best practices at PS3, standardized reporting, continuous monitoring. These are the references to the page and the sections where they are. So I did that same thing for water. I just repeated the prompt. I removed air quality and placed it with water for me to see the so for water, say the sampling coverage, 8 locations, and dog wells and borehole sites across the Ireke, Solustri, whatever. Surface water was sampled, focused on nearest water bodies, in situ labs, seasonality, report captured dry in April, July, and wet in July. This is a very good report. At least it has seasonal variability and very, very balanced. So there are some suggestions that there is need to implement groundwater flow and contamination transport modeling. think this might be a condition if we consider it important for approval, so that in case there is any leaks or um, there's any waste management issue, they can be able to trace how well this will flow and will not migrate into the Lagos aquifer system. It's very, very important for groundwater contamination. Effluent specific parameters include baseline testing for emerging contamination in landfill, such as phthalates, phenols, and specific pesticides to ensure a robust pre-project signature. Upstream and downstream monitoring, uh, microbiological depth, specific pathogen counts like E. coli, helminth, eggs. These are needed to ensure the evaluating the efficiency of the proposed fecal sludge. So these are areas that you might need to look what and understand what they are trying to say before you can be able to put them into comments. So enhanced interpretation of results. Uh, these are areas. These are inferences. Like now, the inference must be made on how current open dump sites. There's open dump sites in Olusosun have influenced the baseline groundwater chemistry, particularly regarding heavy metal concentration. So these are existing pollution interactions. So these are part of baseline that should be analyzed, because most of the part of the report are saying that everything complies and everything is within regulatory framework. So these are it. For soil, the same thing. Soil strategy, seasonality, these are the gaps. He said there's need to include screening for total petroleum hydrocarbon and PCBs. These were not analyzed in the soil sample. They are specific contamination and they need to be there so that the period can be during monitoring. There's need to see that. So for engineering landfill cells and fuel storage areas, global best practice suggest deeper borehole soil sampling, 1 meter, 1.5 to 3 meter, I think, to establish deep soil baseline integrity. Because most of them stop at 15 to 30 cm. Wow, this is huge. It must be borehole soil sampling. Okay. These are the inferences. Like for CEC, say use the CEC result to infer the soil's ability to act as a natural buffer against potential leachate spill. Low CEC soils at sites like Erekiti may require more robust engineering liners. This is very, very important comment. CEC, cation exchange capacity, is a parameter studied for soil. And if it is low in a particular soil site, that area might need more engineered liners so that seepage of leachate will be minimized. And that because he said it serves as a natural buffer against potential leachate spill. So there's need to consider areas in which we have low CEC sampling and spatial mapping. Yeah, I like this comment also. It said enhance the result by providing soil quality heat maps. This might be for the future. You know, I told you that GIS has a lot to enhance review and preparation of EI documents. So this is like the guidance for the future. For now, we might not our consultant might not have the capacity, but some national consultants make use of this. Now, the last part of chapter 4 is economics. Evaluate and analyze the economic section of the report also. So now the economic part gives you area improvement. Now, it said why the computer assisted personal interviewing is good practice for data accuracy. The sample size 322 may be statistically underrepresentative for a project cutting across 4 major local government areas with a combined population in millions. So the comment here is to justify how you arrive at 322 as a sample size for the project area. So this is a very good one to define the area of influence and the methodology in which you specify a community as host community. So these are very, very important. Now, informal waste sector and scavengers. This is a very, very important part based on IFC Performance Standard 5. There is need to, like what is suggested is that a dedicated session or appendix should contain scavengers integration strategy. This is needed to detail how individuals will be transitioned into formal workforce, e.g. sorters in a new MRF. So as to them not to lose their livelihood, because the report identified them as vulnerable, but does not provide a quantity census of how many scavengers are there and how they are going to be managed. So these are areas which we look at. Vulnerable groups, there are no specific data on the vulnerable groups, such as elderly, child-headed household, or persons with disabilities. So very, very important for you to add vulnerable groups. These are areas that our report has been recommended for improvement. We need to take cognizance of vulnerable people, people with disabilities within the area of influence, and ensure that gender-based risk are being taken into consideration. For instance, inflow of 500 people increases risk of sexual exploitation and abuse. So these are areas where should be taken very, very seriously in the report. Public health also says need to include a community health impact assessment baseline that captures current rate of malaria, diarrhea, respiratory tract infections within 500-meter radius of the site. Very important because of the nature of the project, which is a waste management facility. The report lacks a stakeholders engagement plan that fully outlines future engagement process. So there's need to include this, and also a GRM. They need to also add a GRM. So these are areas that so that is that about that. So I stopped at this. This is what I started with, areas that need to be improved upon in the report. Absolutely.